Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Garden City Community Chat. This is episode number 537. It's Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. I am your host, Kerry. Also joining me tonight, Garden City's busiest weatherman, Dr. Tom Mywinski. Tom, how you doing?
Doing well tonight. Enjoying a beautiful evening here in Garden City. Can't complain.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. And former city councilman and longtime resident, Mr. Mike Jones. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, Kerry, but I am getting better.
That's good. That's good. Hey, tonight we are excited to have with us all the way from the United Kingdom, our good friend and fellow podcaster, Mr. Dave A.C. Cooper. It's been quite some time since we chatted with Dave, and it's going to be great to catch up and see what's been going on with him. So stay tuned. He'll be here shortly. But first up, Tom's going to be here with the latest weather report for us. And then Mike will close out the show with some community announcements for you. We got quite a few of those tonight. So grab your favorite beverage or snack, and we hope that you'll stick around and join the conversation for the next hour or so. Now, if you have any questions or comments and you're watching us live on Facebook, go ahead and put them in the comments section, or you can text us at 734-788-9319. You know, you can also join us live on air via your smartphone, laptop, or PC by following the link I put in the comment section. So feel free to do that as well. We hope you're all safe and doing well. I have a couple of announcements real quick that you'll want to know about. On the July 29th show, we will have Sue Strong coming in studio from Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. She is the program director, and also Garden City Police Officer Jacob Minch. He will be here remotely. He will not be in studio. He recently received an award for going above and beyond in detecting and enforcing alcohol-related driving offenses. So we hope that you'll be able to join us for that special show. That's going to be a good one, Mike.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And also, Mike, Cheryl, and I had the pleasure of going to the Autos for Autism event on Monday. Mike and Cheryl were volunteers, and I was a judge. And boy, what a fantastic turnout and success it was. A preliminary count is in, and we are happy to announce they raised roughly $32,000. But donations are still coming in, so they're going to surpass that. And also the classic car attendance was north of 500 cars. So quite a success. Their biggest one yet, Mike.
Yeah.
There was a drone taking video, so they should get a more accurate count once that's available. But hats off to all the volunteers, the bands, the vendors, all the donors, and especially a big thank you to Lisa Clark and Kim Marquette, the two chairpersons, for all their hard work and devoted work. Thank you all, and we look forward to next year, that's for sure. And speaking of thanks, we want to do a quick thank you to all our listeners and followers of the show who tune in every Thursday night, not only from our hometown of Garden City, but several of our surrounding communities as well. We want you to know that your support is greatly appreciated and will continue to promote our community and yours. So please continue to watch, share, and listen. And if your community has any events, announcements, or cancellations that you would like to get out to our listeners, what should they do?
They should email us, Kerry.
Absolutely. Be sure to email the details to us at communitychat@gmail.com or us on Facebook. At Facebook page is facebook.com/GCChat. And Mike will be more than happy to pass information along to you. All right, let's get Tom in here now with the latest check of the weather, and then we'll spend some time chatting with our good friend Dave A.C. Cooper. So stand by. Okay, let's do a check on weather with Doppler Tom. Let's see what he has in store for the rest of this week and the weekend coming up. Tom, take it away. How you doing, Tom?
You know, this has been a busy weather week across not here, not the U.S., but the world, and we'll get all into it. But
right.
On last week's show, we talked about how rainy last Friday was going to be. And yes, last Friday, the 16th, was another significant rainy day. So I wanted to talk briefly about that before we get into our other weather, because on that day, we saw over 2 inches of rain, which is something we do not need. We saw more flooding across our whole area. A lot of it was on the streets and parts of some cities, but luckily some Garden City didn't get as bad as it did last month. But nevertheless, the rain we did not need, but we got more of it. And I was running the numbers, and from June on into July, we've seen nearly 15 inches of rain throughout that period already. So that's something that we've never seen before. So it's been a fairly rainy, wet, and dreary summer out there at times. So we definitely don't need any more rain. But unfortunately, we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that as we get into the weekend and into next week. But for the rest of tonight, we're going to stay pretty comfortable out there, regardless, not including the mosquitoes. But temperature-wise, it's definitely going to be on the comfortable side, with temperatures bottoming out into the lower 60s as we get into tomorrow. I do think tomorrow will be a dry day out there. We'll probably see a lot of clouds build up throughout the day, but overall, I do believe that the majority of the day will be dry, with temperatures getting into the lower 80s for high temperatures. And as we get into the weekend, we're going to see a little bit of rain on the weekend.
We got a garden walk.
Rain, will be kind of during the afternoon and evening hours on a Saturday. So if you have any outdoor plans on Saturday, like some of the gardeners do, the garden walk is on Saturday morning into early afternoon. So the majority of that time, I think, will be dry. The rain will begin to move in kind of after 2 o'clock. So toward the end of that period, during the time frame when the rain will move in. This is going to be an all-day rain, but it will be rounds of rain that will be moving through. And yes, some of that rain, again, will be heavy at times. And depending on if you get a pretty good batch over you could definitely see some localized flooding briefly into those areas. And temperatures before the rain moves in, we'll get into the upper 80s. So it's going to be a warm day, definitely out there on Saturday. So and keep that in mind if you're going to be out and about. And then as we get into Sunday, temperatures will continue to warm up. They'll probably be near 90 degrees for high temperatures, and it will be a dry day on Sunday. So people that like the heat, we know who you are, and we're not going to mention you, Richard, but you're definitely going to be enjoying the hot weather as it makes a comeback this weekend, and a drier day on Sunday. So enjoy that. And as we get into next week, especially early part of the week, the heat wave will continue on Monday and into Tuesday. It will be dry. Temperatures will again be near 90 degrees for high temperatures. And as we get into Wednesday, they'll probably drop down a little bit into the upper 80s. And then as we get into the following Thursday, Friday, and into the end of the month, we'll bottom out into the mid to lower 80s. So a little bit of an extended period, again, of some hotter weather moving in this weekend and into early next week, with a little bit of rain during the afternoon and evening hours on Saturday. So keep that into your cards if you have any outdoor plans, and stay hydrated out there, because it's definitely going to be on the hot side. And quickly talking about some other weather. I mean, this weather has been crazy all across the U.S. I mean, the wildfires, well, let's get that out of the way, because that's been an ongoing story across the West. It even kind of made it all the way here into the Great Lakes. I mean, this week we saw some hazy skies. We saw some smoky skies during throughout some of that mid portion of the week and into the early portion of the week. And our sun was a little bit obscured. The moon was a little bit obscured. And at times it looked red. It looked kind of ominous out there. The same thing with the sun. And so, air quality was not good on those days. And that wasn't just affecting us. It affected all of the eastern United States. And thankfully that smoke has moved out of our region, and it's starting to clear up here across the Great Lakes, and like you said, it's definitely much more nicer and clearer out there, and you can definitely see the bluer skies. And
Right.
during the week, you couldn't really see the bluer skies because
Yeah.
there was so much haze and smoke high up into the atmosphere across the jet stream. And so, unfortunately, I saw some predictions about the wildfires, and I read about one wildfire, and they're predicting that it's going to continue all the way through Thanksgiving. So these wildfires are going to be continuing for months on top of months. And as we get in later into the wildfire season, unfortunately, more will probably grow as the West is remaining in an exceptional drought across that whole area. And it's kind of a double-edged sword, because moving on to our next topic, the southwestern United States is dealing with kind of a strange phenomenon. I mean, this phenomenon happens every year, but the monsoon season has really ramped up across that region.
Wow.
So they're dealing with these rounds of rains that move through, and it causes significant localized flooding
Mhm.
across that whole area down there. So they're so dry that the rain moves in, it kind of really rains, and it doesn't really have time to really absorb into the ground, so it causes a lot of flash flooding out there, which means the flooding literally occurs into a flash, and
Wow.
it causes significant problems out there. So that's been an ongoing problem across that region. And moving more out of that west and into the eastern United States, it's staying fairly active across the south with rounds of rain moving through. The good news is, let's get the good news out of the way. The hurricane season is remaining fairly quiet at this time across the Atlantic basin, but the Pacific basin has been fairly active with a few hurricane, a hurricane actually, a pretty strong one, affected nobody really. It was just in the Pacific, and now it has kind of diminished out there, but it's been fairly busy across the Pacific Ocean. But our Atlantic hurricane season has been quiet, so that's some great news. But expanding one more time into some other parts of the world. I mean, this
Yeah.
weather has been fairly busy
Mhm.
all across the globe, and we're going to continue to move east and move into Europe, because Europe has been dealing with kind of two big stories out there. The one story has been the excessive heat wave across parts of Europe out there. I mean,
Yeah.
parts of
Dave attests to
UK
that.
with Dave AC,
Yeah.
parts of Spain, and all the parts of the southern parts of Europe has been dealing with
Crazy,
significant
crazy.
heat, and these temperatures are nearing 90s and 100s
Ooh.
Fahrenheit, and they've been dealing with excessive heat in parts of those regions. And another part of the big weather story across Europe as well has been significant flooding again. I mean, we've been dealing with our flooding here in Michigan, and
Yeah.
Europe, parts of Germany and Belgium have been dealing with significant flooding. I mean, this is flooding that they've never seen.
China, even I saw.
There's been unfortunately there's been fatalities with this flooding. Over 100 have been reported. They've been seeing rounds and rounds of rain moving through in a very short amount of period of time. That's why it's been causing so many problems. I mean, I read a report where they've seen, one city saw a report of about 8 inches in like a 9-hour period, which is
Wow.
something that just
Devastating.
nothing can really handle.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of damaging flooding across parts of Germany and other regions across the parts of Europe. And another part of the globe that's been dealing with significant flooding is China. I mean, this is another area where parts of China have been dealing with a year's worth of rain in just a couple days. So it's just something that you can't even fathom out there. They've been, I mean, I sound like a broken record. I mean, they've been seeing all these regions, including us in Michigan, have been seeing rainfall totals and flooding that we have never really seen before in our lifetimes. I mean, there's just nothing in the record books to really compare that to. So
Wow.
this isn't something that's just affecting us in Michigan and the United States. It's affecting
the world.
parts of other parts of the world and other different sections. So it's not really contained into one area of the world. So that's been a very big problem across the globe. And unfortunately, these types of events are going to probably continue as we get into the foreseeable future and into the into the more long-term impacts of extreme weather. And it's tied to our warming climate, because when you warm the climate, there's more room in the atmosphere to hold more moisture, and that moisture will be wrunged out and precipitation, and the places that stay dry will stay dry, and the places that stay wet will stay wet. So
Wow.
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Where you have the rain, you don't need it, and where you need the rain, you don't have it. So unfortunately, those types of events will probably continue, and we will talk about those as we get into the next weeks and months and years to come. But if you want to keep tuned to all my local weather information, just go to my website, DopplerTomsWeather.com. And it's not all doom and gloom. Just go over there and enjoy our nicer weather here in Michigan.
Right.
And it will definitely bring you some nicer weather out there. So enjoy the weather. Stay dry on Saturday and stay hydrated into the weekend and into early next week.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we'll get
Gary.
VC in here and talk about his heat wave going on there. I want to give a shout out to Patty Fix is in there. Nora Fix, Garden City Fire Chief Catherine Harmon is in there. How you all doing? Levon Wilhite from Hog's Backyard Barbecue is in there. How are you? Kathy Ward, our #1 fan. Also, we have Mark Mukovitz, Tina Wing, Dennis Newbacher. Dennis, how you doing? We got to get you on the show, my friend. You're due back. So, want to say hi to all them people. All right, let's introduce our guest.
Hey, Kerry.
Yeah.
I see that they had flooding in the subways in China.
Yes.
People
Yes.
up to their shoulders in water.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw them pictures. It was horrendous. Just terrible.
Yeah.
Very extreme. Unbelievable.
So, Terry, I have a little audio problem. I can hear you, but I cannot hear Mike, and I probably won't be able to hear Dave AC. So I'm not sure what's happening on my end. We had some issues at the beginning of the show, so I just want to let you know I never heard what Mike has been saying. So
wow.
You might have to play medium with me and Dave AC with questions. I just want to let you know that.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe it could be Google Duo too. So
it's just blame the weather.
Yeah. The weather. Yeah. All right, let's move on. We'll introduce our guest for tonight. I kind of owe him a big thank you for giving me advice and helping me get my podcasting started. Please welcome my friend and fellow podcaster, Dave A.C. Cooper. How you doing, my friend?
Hey.
I hope the volume's okay. If Tom's having issues with sound, I hope mine's okay.
Yeah, you sound great.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Hi, Mike, as well. And hi to Tom, if you can hear me.
Yeah. I don't know if he can, but I think it might be on Google Duo we're using. So
yeah.
I'm
not too sure. I'm going to accept the blame of unleashing you on the podcasting world, Kerry. I'll reserve judgment. If you do a good job tonight, I'll say that's my boy.
Well, you're my man. You're my man. That's for sure. You've helped me a lot. We go way back. You're coming up on 12 years on your podcast, and I'm actually 11 years now. So it's crazy.
Unbelievable, yes. And I mean, I did do a little bit of apprenticeship on a couple of other podcasts first.
Yeah.
Been doing them for about 14 years now. It's you can tell it's showing in the face. It's getting to you.
Yeah, and the hair, the color. And
Yeah. But I'm always interested how Tom can make disasters sound so exciting. But absolutely devastating. And what Mike said about those people in that underground, apparently it was black dark water. The people were actually having to stand on the seats in the underground train, and one or two of them were going to bash the windows out. And so one or two of them pointed out that the water was higher outside the train than it was in.
Boy.
Yeah,
So if they'd have broken
scary.
the windows, it would have come in.
Yeah, that would have been worse.
Absolutely worse. So
Oh my God.
absolutely freak. And I was hoping that when you were talking about the fires, I mean, America, you're very, very colourful with your terms. I mean, this fire in Oregon called bootleg fire.
Yeah.
I had visions of some Daisy Duke and the bootleg guys, in the car chase and the sheriff after them, and throwing the bootleg whiskey out of the window and starting a fire.
I don't know where they come up with these names. Hold on 1 minute, Dave. I have a surprise guest that wants to say hi to you.
Right.
Hey,
Hi,
Uncle Dave,
Cheryl.
yes. Hi, Dave.
Hi.
So happy to see you.
And I'm very pleased to see you sitting down because you're usually up fussing over Kerry, who's sitting there asking for another plate of cakes or whatever. Whatever.
yeah.
He gets well looked after, that man.
She's in our favorite spot, Dave, out on the porch. We have
Out
these
on the
flat
porch.
lounges. Yeah, it's a beautiful night out there tonight. As
I
long as
bet- I
the
bet-
mosquitoes-
I bet this is the only time of the week the girl gets some peace.
Yes. I don't have a glass of wine. I forgot to get a glass of wine.
But it's actually true. I was thinking about opening a bottle of white wine, but
Yeah.
I'm going out for it's a family member's birthday coming up, so tomorrow I'm going out for a lunch,
Oh.
and wine will be consumed. Have no doubt about
All
it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
All right.
You know, I
Well,
just
it's great seeing you, and I just wanted to pop in and say hello.
thank
That's
you, dear.
lovely. Thank you. I do love that. Thank you.
All right,
I'll keep listening.
all
Thanks,
right.
babe.
Thanks.
I was I mean, these fires are absolutely awful, but one of the things that we saw on the BBC News about it
Uh-huh.
was one of those rare events that I don't know that Tom has explained on here before. Firenados. Have you heard of
Oh,
those?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Is Tom hearing what I'm saying? Does he want to say anything about
Tom, are
firenados?
you hearing anything?
I'm actually not hearing
He's
anything. but
he's
I'm on
talking about
Facebook.
firenados.
Yeah, I'm watching the live feed on Facebook.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can read it. I can read it all.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, when you deal with such wildfires, I mean, you deal with actually, like he said, firenados, which is basically a
Yeah.
fire tornado. So on top of the wildfires, you deal with these insane whirlwinds of fire on top of it. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just extreme and sad to deal with.
Very scary.
And of course, there's real sadness behind this because, and it's not just because of the way that in America, a lot of these homes in these areas, obviously wood is the material that the houses are built of, and
Yep.
all you see is the stone chimney stack.
That's it. That's all it's
standing
left.
there.
Yeah, it's really sad.
All
Really
the
sad.
possessions gone and everything. So
Right.
it's a shock.
I just want to mention to our listeners that are listening, Dave. There's like 5 hours difference here, so it's like what 1 o'clock in the morning, a little after 1 o'clock there.
Yeah, 1:23 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to thank you for staying up. I hope you got a nap in.
Well, actually,
You are a night owl.
the hot weather has been that the last few nights I've tried going to bed and I've not been getting to sleep till 2:30 in the morning
Wow.
when it's just about starting to cool down. Now, they are not as extreme as the temperatures that you have. We've been up we're in centigrade here. So the temperature in Manchester was 29,
Okay.
which equates to 85 degrees. But that is very hot
Yeah.
for what we're used to.
Do you get the humidity there?
No, although it's been building up today, I've got a feeling over the weekend we're going to have a thunderstorm.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of beautiful for you guys to get that.
Yeah, and we had the first sighting in the UK for a long time of these big golf ball type, hailstones that you sometimes talk about in America. You know, the
Wow.
size of golf balls in isolated instance. But there's no doubt about it. These once in 100-year events seem to be happening every 10 years.
Yes.
Once in 1,000-year events are happening, in our lifetimes, and
Very extreme.
it'll keep Doppler Tom in at work anyway.
It keeps them busy. Sure.
Yeah.
So the AC, what does that stand for?
Well, it's just my initials. It's just that David in the UK is such a common name. When I was at school, I think there were about 6 children in the same class as me, all called David. So, you had to stand out in some ways. And then online, because I've got a fairly common surname with Cooper. So would you believe on Facebook, I have, I used to have over 2,000, but a lot of these fake IDs got culled, I think. So I've got about 1,800, but I've got nearly 60 Dave Cooper friends.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little bit like, is it in Salt Lake City where they have where you can the Mormons can look up your names or whatever, and I think Cooper and variations of Cooper, like Cooper spelt with an E or only one P. It's quite a common name. I don't know what American common names are really, but
Jones.
Jones, yeah, Mike Jones,
a
Smith.
lot of Irish names I would take it as well.
Right. A lot of Coopers. So
Yeah.
let's talk about podcasting now a little bit. You're still on talkshoe.com.
Yes.
And and let's talk about your podcast, the Cultum Collective. You're coming up on 12 years. You wanna
Indeed.
tell everybody a little bit about what it's about and what you do?
I'd love to. I mean, there are some young, up and coming podcasts that are sort of the driving force now. So we're sort of the steady hand that just outputs. We've reached our peak. We perhaps haven't fallen back from it, but we're not right to. We were doing about 100 episodes a year at one time. We've got over 660 episodes of the Cultum Collective podcast. As you say, hosted on TalkShoe. I've always been an advocate of TalkShoe, even though this system we're using here seems to do a great job for GC Community Chat. And I know, of course, it's simulcast on Facebook as well, and there's been an explosion of all these video interfaces. It's wonderful. So
I love it.
but our subject matter, Cultum Collective, is a little bit of a coined term, but it's all about science fiction, fantasy, all those shows on TVs that you used to love in the 80s that have been coming back by Stranger Things, and we're getting all the Marvel ones like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki's on at the moment.
Loki,
all sorts of great things. I've just been seeing the official trailer of June. I think it's a mini series coming back. I only just recently watched the Black Widow, the film that's been
you
delayed.
said that was good, huh?
Absolutely fantastic.
Good review.
I can understand why they didn't. It was going to have a theatrical presentation. And they've now eventually, you can pay a one-off fee to see it now on the streaming services. I'll wait and it'll become free in a few weeks' time. But the money is up there on the screen. It is a real blockbuster. A pity it didn't come out 6 months or 8 months ago, because with things like, well, for instance, WandaVision, that should have come out after it, and so on. But there's wonderful things on. But we tended to focus when we first started on a lot of UK science fiction, with Torchwood and things like that. But
Doctor Who was big with you.
Doctor Who's been big, but of course that's gone international as we started to get the message out. Doctor Who, it first went to Australia, and then it went to actually South America, and then it became big in Japan. And then, of course, we had a couple of episodes set in the United States. Second film crew went over there, and it always had a following from the public service broadcast channels that you have with the old Fourth Doctor stories, what you would now call the classic Doctor Who, the Tom Baker years, which
the older.
Because of the way public broadcast works, I believe in America, they would show the series, and then they got to the end, and then they just re-show them again. So young people would be exposed to it almost by default. So
we have that classic channel, TV channel. They show the old Star Trek, the William Shatner going back like that. All the old ones, Twilight Zone, Rod Serling.
Oh yeah, but there's some marvelous things on. I mean, I've got, like I suppose most of your listeners have now, one or two streaming services. Now you can hash out the argument about, well, it's fragmented and you have to sign up for 2 or 3, and they add up. And a couple of them, it goes up $1 this year, $1 next year. And before you know it, you're paying $30, $40.
That's right.
For these services. but the standard. I mean, I love some of the Netflix one,
Oh, yeah,
Jessica
Netflix.
Jones, The Punisher, Daredevil, all those things.
Yeah.
So and to podcasting world, that is marvelous, because
Ye-
I see podcasting a little bit like magazines used to be,
Correct.
where you can drill down deep into the fandom of a particular one.
Mhm.
So, as you know, on Talk Show to start with, they were like Walking Dead podcast, only did Walking
Yes.
Dead.
Yes.
Lost podcasts.
Lost. Yeah.
Game of Thrones, when that
Yes.
was the biggest thing on TV.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
It's
Better
great to
Call
have those.
Saul.
Yeah.
Wonderful things. So, if anybody out there wants to get into podcast and sees by your fantastic thing that any old fella can do it, they want to get into it.
It
I'm
is.
sorry. To those listening, I'm not being funny to Kerry. We are all friends,
Yes.
and we do rib each other a little bit like that.
Oh, yes.
But I
absolutely.
admire what he's done. I admire what he does for his community, and it's wonderful what he does, and it's a great service you provide. And I think you've even got your son Derek into the act, haven't you?
Yeah. He's got into podcasting. He's on a bit of a hiatus now, but yeah, he likes it too. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It gives me something to do, you know, and you meet a lot of people, you interview a lot of people, you talk about a lot of stuff. So it's a lot of fun, right, Mike?
Yeah, we get a lot of interesting.
Yes. Cheer up,
yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get Mike in there.
No, it's true. We get a lot of interesting guests and
Yeah.
highlight a lot of good things that are going on in the community.
Right. And all the communities that surround us. So
And they can have that mix, because, like you said, I did another podcast that, again, I've stopped it. I just did it for 1 year, but it was all about COVID-19 and how it had
Yes.
affected the UK.
yes.
But again, I tried to lighten that up because when I came to the weekend episodes, I'd do a quiz, which wasn't about the actual illness. It was, a complete breakaway from it. So one advantage is when you've got that audience and you've got that listenership, they're sometimes they will trust you to bring them, you do your research. They know that you're not going to talk without doing that due diligence.
Yes.
You
Yes.
get some really, people in your community.
Yep.
And when you want to do that, you can do it, and you can draw on the expertise of the fire service and the other services in your community, and
Mhm.
then no doubt you can have people on, and you have somebody on like me, like Light Relief.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that other podcast you were talking about was called Never Isolated, and that was done during mostly COVID. You did how many episodes of that? You did quite a few.
Yeah, I did over 150.
Wow.
So it was always going to be a niche thing, because to get people to, come home and then listen to me reading out the stats of how many people have gone into hospital, how many be on respirators,
Yes.
how many. But it is slightly creeping up here in the UK. I don't want to put a down on things, but
Yeah.
we were down to single figures. But even yesterday, we had 84 deaths in the UK.
Mm.
Another, there are nearly 5,000 people in hospital.
Ooh.
There's lots of people.
Well,
But other countries are having far worse,
Yes.
India and so on.
yeah, well, here too, all our southern states are real bad. Ours is creeping up a little bit here in Michigan, but they're saying 90, 97, 98% of the people that are in the hospitals are not vaccinated. And that's really a big thing.
Yeah, and it's
Exactly.
catching the younger people in the 3/4. But in
Yeah.
India, I was reading that so many people that live in the outskirts, they haven't come through, and then they're falling ill to a sort of fungus that's happening. They're people that are recovering from COVID. Their immune system is compromised, and they're
Mhm.
catching.
Mhm.
The official death toll in India is higher than the US. It's 400,000,
Oh my
but they reckon as many as 4 million have
God.
actually died in surface death. So
I know
it's
they'd show them how they were burning the bodies. They couldn't burn them fast enough, cremate.
yeah. Yeah,
Terrible,
unbelievable.
terrible.
But in one sense, we should be in with this. I know this weather is awful,
Mhm.
but it's usually in the poor, cold weather that these, because
Mhm.
it's a sort of flu virus after all. It's
Right,
just one that we haven't got an inbuilt resistance to. That
exactly.
we've over the years. I mean, I don't know about you, Kerry, but I probably had flu 20 times in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So you've got that immunity. So you still
Yeah.
have to go to bed, well, all the wives will tell you, a woman gets flu and she carries on. A man gets flu and he's in bed for 3 days.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's always worse with the man, you know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I saw your prime minister is easing up the mask mandate. Am I right there?
Well, yeah.
Kinda? Opening up.
On the 19th of July, which has just gone, it's obviously the 23rd now. We've just come out of lockdown.
Okay.
But in the previous 2 weeks, we've had a few events. We had a big football match. We've had a big cricket match. We've
Mhm.
had Wimbledon, and
Oh, yeah, Wimbledon.
we've had what they're talking about in a control way. They've allowed more crowds to gather. But that's been seen an uptick in infections. But of course, because 3/4 of the people in the country had the injections, and 2 of them, the
Yeah.
idea is that they're trying to feel out what the thing is about this, because unfortunately, when people have to isolate because they've come in contact, in this last week, 600,000 people have been contacted by their phone to take time off work. Well, that for
Whoa.
small businesses,
Wow. Yeah.
if you're a bakery in Garden City,
Yeah.
and you've only got 3 staff and 2 of the staff are self-isolating,
Yeah.
you're
screwed.
and your business is on its knees anyway.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you put the message out that you want. I don't know what the system is in your case, whether a lot of the firms have adapted to home delivery and things like
Yeah,
that.
we have home
Right.
delivery and curbside pickup. Yeah. Yeah. But the hard thing, the big thing here now is the people, they're not getting the help. They just don't have the workers. We have coffee shops that are closing because they don't have enough staff. Is that
Exactly.
there too? They having a hard time there too?
Yes. In actual fact, we had what's called a furlough system here for people
Okay.
who were laid off, and
Uh-huh.
they were guaranteed 70% of it was 80% to start with, then 70%. It was a very, it sounds more generous than
generous.
it is.
Yeah.
It is generous because they
Yes.
were being paid 80%, and the idea was the employer made up at least 10% of that. So
Okay.
they were getting 90% of the wages to do nothing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
reserved it. The problem is
They're
these
not
were
doing
all people that were in the low salary jobs. So they were
Yes.
the people getting the $7 an hour, $8 an
Mhm.
hour. I
Same
don't
here.
know what the minimum wage is in America, but
Yeah.
even 70 or 80% of a low.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I know there's been a call in America to go up to the $10 or $11 mark per hour, hasn't there? I don't know.
Yeah. 15, they're really pushing.
15 is it now? They want to
Yeah.
go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. Our people get unemployment, and they're giving them on top of the unemployment. What is it, Mike? Another $300, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So aren't they getting like $900 a week or something like that to stay home?
Yeah.
So they don't want it, and they've extended it till September. It's supposed to end in September, I think.
Yeah, I think you got a one-off payment, didn't you? Is it $1,500 per family or something as a one-off for people on social?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Welfare.
That was
That was like a one-off.
yeah. Right.
I mean, they can't do
People
right for
need
too
it. I
long.
get it.
I mean, heaven forsake, I don't particularly give politicians an easy time.
I
But
know.
on the other hand, if they help people that need it, that's much needed. And we're talking about people that need to go to food banks, so they're not exactly living a life of luxury.
No. Right.
On the other hand, somebody who's hardworking and whose business has collapsed, who maybe, has to pay not only their own wage, or in fact they can't pay themselves because they're supporting staff.
Right.
There is no. It's very difficult to come down on one side or the other.
Yeah.
Because unless you know the hardships they're going through, to be equal-handed on it is so difficult. And I hope they're better brains than me working on it.
Yeah, I know it's a tough situation. It really is. Want to give a shout out to a few more people watching us, Dave.
Okay.
We have Kim Marquette, who is I mentioned her earlier, the co-chair of the Autos for Autism. You did a great job, Kim. We're looking forward to next year. Also, Tina Wing is in there, says hello. Len Fisher from the Inspire Theater, who's been on our show before. He's in there. And Sandy Abraham is in there. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Now, I know you have a passion for wine. You think? You've also done a wine podcast, and it was called Big and Fruity.
That's right. I did about 100. I must slack off after 150 episodes. I did that for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
But one of the reasons I had stopped, I was drinking more. Just for those people who might think it was all altruistic on my part and thinking, the people who they either grew a beard in February or they stopped drinking in February. I wasn't quite sure which one to do. Well, okay. I did both, but that was unfortunate because I suffered a recent illness, as you at least certainly are aware.
Right.
So I grew a beard and stopped drinking, and I lost about 20 pounds in weight.
Yeah.
So that was something. But yes, the thing is, believe it or not, if you do a wine podcast and talk about wine, people will actually listen, and I had quite a good audience to listen.
Yeah.
But however, if you bought the same wine every week and said, "I'm drinking the same wine," they'd soon tune out. So every week. Yeah, I was having to go out and search, and we're not talking about your 2 buck chuck stuff. We're talking about $15, $18, $25, $30 a bottle of wine,
and that adds up every week.
So it was costing me $25, $30 a week to do my podcast, and that's not paying for your internet and your downloads and this, that, and the other.
Sure.
So I should have had a sponsor for it. Really,
that would have been great. Yeah. California Wine Club or something, they probably would have sponsored you.
Yeah. So, but I may get back to it. But it's when I took up the Never Isolated one, I put the Big and Fruity, and they're on iTunes. Big and Fruity sounds, and it was picked slightly as a tease. It was a little bit of clickbait, really, because it sounds a bit big and fruity. But that was because every wine. Do you know in Twitter accounts, wine is. There are more Twitter accounts about wine than anymore.
Wow.
If you have a Twitter account, you can have what's called a list where you follow, and I think I'm following about 5,000. Wine Twitter accounts.
Really?
Tons of, So there's every name you can think of box wine, cellar wine, big wines, black, So I didn't want the word wine in it, so I went with Big and Fruity.
Yeah,
I thought I might just get some people looking for a bit of excitement in their life. Come and check it out.
Now they're all on iTunes, but they're all on TalkShoe too, correct? Are they on that too?
Oh, yeah, they're on TalkShoe. I mean, I'm a bit of an advocate for TalkShoe, even though I used to work for it part-time. I've just done an actual bit of a blurb from them that might be getting up soon. And there is supposed to be a big update coming to TalkShoe soon.
Okay.
So you may want to have a revisit of that. The interface is looking
different.
I
still upload my shows to it.
I do indeed. Yeah. I've noticed that. But yeah, I mean, the plethora of places. I'm on Amazon Music, Deezer, Tuned In. I think you can find mine on about 25, 30 different podcasts. But however, that's because I mainly do audio ones.
Right. Now you did do a vlog. You did do a vlog for a while too, correct?
Well, the blog is there to support. I mean, we have the cultdom.com blog and I have Dave AC. Anyway, I didn't come in here just to advertise my stuff, willing as I am to do so. But yeah, I mean,
People are interested.
yeah, I mean, with the big and fruity, I mean, having a catchy name is easy because with Google you just Google it and
Yes.
it will
Yes.
come up. You know.
Now I want to you for your Cultum. You also have a co-host, right, Ian?
Oh well. Thereby hangs a story, and I've got to be very careful what to say. Because Kirsty is the Sixth Doctor has gone by. It goes by a new name now. He's had an identity change. So it's Kirsty.
Kirsty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think he'll mind me mentioning there because he's transgender. So
Okay. Okay.
and it's taken me time to get used to it, but he's very kind to me because mixed pronouns up like there's no tomorrow. In fact, pronouns are the hardest thing to do.
Right.
But it is marvelous. Again, one of the things that I do love about podcasting is that that it's such a way out into the world, and it's an easy way for people to hear about different interested, different voices, more communication. There are areas you can go into which are that suit everybody, and there are other areas where you can go into where particular needs and where people need to know something and they don't know where to search for information, or they want to know about like-minded people or what issues they're dealing with, whether it's illness or whether it's to do with maybe hearing issues or disabilities, maybe loneliness. And that's so much that podcasting can do, like you're doing for your community in a much more general and larger sense.
I just want to mention that Steve Ray, Lieutenant Steve Ray from our fire department's in there. He goes, Coop. He's been a guest on our show and a great guy as well. I did want to bring up a banner here real quick. This shows all your badges. That is incredible. Now, who makes all these? Do you do that?
Actually, Ian's nephew made the original cartoons of us. So if you take the one in the top one where there's three of us together, it says commentaries. So the Sixth Doctor is Kirsty now, and wearing the Sixth Doctor's coat, which he actually has the Sixth Doctor coat, a copy of the Colin Baker coat. My coat is based on Space 1999, and well, actually, it's UF, not Space 99. I should have said it's Striker from UFO. That was the sort of theme I wanted to do with the high collar. If you remember that, with these fantastic cars and the space, it was a UK science fiction series. And Mike Mandel Thor, he joins us for the commentaries. And each year we've had, a different theme. So we had 10 sorry years, 9 fantastic years, and we're trying to decide what our 12th year will be. We're thinking we might go 12 variants as a homage to Loki, because it's going about variants on that.
That's cool. That's cool. So when are you going to be celebrating the 12th year? What is the date of that?
Well, the actual first episode 1 was on the 2nd of August. So this coming Sunday, the 1st of August is a Sunday. That will be the sort of market. But we had a couple of sort of episode zeros that we did, sort of little studio shows before we had our first live event. So it's basically from the end of July going into August, and we're 12 years old.
Lieutenant Ray says, whenever I hear Cooper, I want a biscuit.
Is that a famous brand in the States?
He's got a real sense of humor. So the Cultum is on Sundays, going to be on Sundays, and there's a show ID on the screen, 54821, right?
Right. Well, we've held off because when Doctor Who's not on television,
Right.
we tend to ease off on the live shows and
Okay.
do studio shows. But we've got to make a decision about whether there will be a live one there. But if the easiest thing, if there's anybody interested,
Yeah.
and they're already on Facebook, and a lot of people in the chat comments here are on
Right.
Facebook, and Facebook has made a change recently. We used to be very selective. You used to ask to join our group, but the groups now on Facebook, you can post in it without. I mean, we can chuck you out.
Yeah,
but people can basically join it. So if you have a look at the Cultum Collective, just do a search in Facebook.
Mhm.
You'll see all the details because that's basically our shop window there.
Well, it's a fun show, and I hope everybody will check it out. That's for sure.
And thanks
And,
for your time on that.
If you reprieve the birdie or whatever, let us know what that as well. Okay.
Oh, you broke up a little bit there for me.
Oh, you there?
Me too.
You
Mike, are you hearing him?
you
Yeah,
hearing
it's
me?
breaking up for me too.
Uh-oh. Huh? Maybe we're losing our. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on.
We've broken Kerry. So, Mike, you haven't had much of a chance to talk. Do you want to fill in for Kerry? I think he's rebooting.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, there you go. You don't hear me.
No, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you
Yeah, I think I perhaps worn me welcome out and it's slowed down.
hey, anything else that you'd like to talk about? I know it's late. I don't want to keep it any longer.
Well, there's lots of things, but I mean, I don't know how many of your listeners are into science fiction and all the things there. But what I'm well, we talked about it a little bit. What I'm really into at the moment is, and it's just started, is the Olympics. For anybody, it's in Japan, of course, and the opening ceremony is tomorrow. Now, you mentioned the fact that I'm 5 hours ahead of the United States.
Right.
Well, Japan is 5 hours again. So I think there's a 10-hour difference, isn't there, between? So for you now, it's coming up. Well, for me, it's coming up to 2 a.m. In Japan, it'll be coming up to 7 a.m.
Okay.
And for you, it's coming up to 9 p.m. Is that right?
Yeah, I think
Sounds
you're
right.
right. Yeah, that sound right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're 10 hours, but the now, unfortunately, these Olympics, of course, are the 2020 Olympics. They were
Right.
held back from last year, and the opening ceremony is now going to have to go ahead without an audience.
Yes.
But they're pushing ahead with it. There's a little bit of controversy in Japan because of the incoming athletes and so on. So
Yeah.
they're having to impose a lot of self-restrictions there.
A lot of
But
restrictions.
I am looking
Tricky.
forward to it because, this is a lot of the big team games. There's the football, there's soccer, as you would call it.
Yeah.
Hockey. I love the swimming events.
Yes.
There's
swimming.
all the equestrian events. There's
Golf,
athletics, wonderful things.
Yeah.
So I'll be glued to a lot of that over the next 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
then, of course, there's I was going to call them disability games, but they're not called that.
Paralympics.
Paralympics, yeah.
Yes, that's good too.
So
Amazing,
yeah.
amazing what they can do. Amazing.
absolutely, yeah.
Tom, are you still there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm listening to all this, but it's
And-
great to hear from you, Dave. Stay cool, my friend. I know you're not drinking any more wine, but you can have a glass for me. And whenever this COVID is all done and the world tries to get back to normal, we do have to do the show on the road there, Carrie.
Yes, I know.
The UK.
I know.
And, go Team USA, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll root for Britain too a little bit. Well, look, Dave, it's been wonderful seeing you again and talking with you.
That's lovely. I'll bow out in a moment, but thank you for giving me all that airtime. Really enjoyed it. And again, I'm sure Garden City completely appreciates what you, Mike, and all your guests, Doppler Tom, do. And here's to many more years of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And same to you. Yeah, you take care, and you're looking good. I'm glad to see you're on the mend. And we'll be in touch on Facebook, right?
Cheers.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Dave AC all the way from UK.
That's a good guy right there.
That is a wonderful person right there. He sure helped me out a lot, I'll tell you that. When I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. But
Anybody'd stay up till 2 a.m. to be on our show.
yes. He is a very dedicated podcaster. And I want people to go and check out his podcast on talkshoe.com. It's a good one. If you like sci-fi, especially, he does all that stuff. We follow each other on Facebook, and it was even better to see him face to face tonight.
It was.
All right. I want to remind everyone that the next city council meeting is Monday, July 26th in the council chambers located at 6000 Middle Belt Road. These meetings are informative and a good way for you to get involved and voice any concerns you might have. Mike, anything big coming up on the meeting this week?
I don't know. I suppose we'll continue this controversy over the parking from the senior tower.
Yeah, I just saw on Facebook where somebody posted there were something like 8 cars that got broken into over there in their parking lot. So we'll probably hear about that, but what's the city supposed to do? I mean,
Well,
the
senior center needs more parking spaces on their property.
Yeah, they need to build a parking garage or something, because you can't have 170 units and only 80 parking spaces, right?
Right.
That's crazy. Let's see what I got here. Hey, Jerry Thorne is in there. How you doing, Jerry? Are you home or are you still at the fair? I know you're at the Ionia State Fair or Country Fair. I saw your pictures. All
That's
right,
a big fair.
Let's move on. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get her done. Here we go.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. That'll be the day
It's time for
when you make me cry. You say
Get
you're gonna
Mike in
leave.
here. Mike,
You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be hey, when I die.
All right, good job. All
What's
right, I
that
got
for
one.
me?
I got one here. You can.
Okay, Rusty Trike Flea Market at the Notre Dame Hall on 3144 South Wayne Road in Wayne, Michigan on July 24th from 10 to 6. Food and drinks available all day.
Yes.
Arting in the Museum at the Straight Farmhouse on August 27th from 6 to 9:30, 6221 Merriman in Garden City.
Yeah, she's got a lot of stuff going on there. Kim Marquette does. So
Oh, she is.
head on over there.
She's a regular dynamo.
Yeah. Yeah.
July Craft Night at the Maplewood Community Center, Tuesday, July 27th from 5:30 to 6:30. Cost is $6. You can call, it's okay. Drop-in basketball at the Garden City Ice Arena during the summer when they have the ice out of there.
Yeah. And air
Ages 12
conditioning.
to 7 from 6 to 7:30, and ages 18 and up from 7:30 to 9:30. Cost is $5 for kids, $6 for adults. Wednesday drop-in kids dodgeball, ages 6 to 12 from 6 to 7:30. Their cost there is $5.
Mhm.
And RC tracks, all ages, 7:30 to 9:30. $10, limited rentals available.
We have a lot of concerts coming up in Dearborn Heights here that I got.
Okay, Sparkles in the Sky, Toppermost, Beatles Tribute Band, and Firefly Drone Show on Friday, August 6th.
Wow.
Starts at 6:30 p.m. The drone show is at 9:40 p.m. approximately. Firefly Drone Show, sponsored by Eli Sports. I'm trying to see where this is being held. Oh, Dearborn Heights Parks and Recreation is sponsoring it.
Right, right. Event will be held at Warren Valley Golf Course
Okay.
on Warren Road in Dearborn Heights. Have you ever seen those Firefly drones? It's amazing how they
No.
do that. It's so precision. It's unbelievable. Another one.
Oh, Dearborn Heights Parks and Recreation presents Concert in the Park, August 26th. It's a free event from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Come enjoy your evening at this summer event you won't want to miss, featuring Ted Petty and the Refugees Band, located at Warren Valley Golf Course, 26116 Warren Road in Dearborn Heights.
Yeah, it's nice they're using Warren Valley.
Yep.
Nice venue.
Another concert in the park featuring 50 Amp Fuse Band.
Ooh, they're big.
Live music, food trucks, kids, games, and entertainment. Next Wednesday, July 28th. Is that next Wednesday? Yeah, it is next Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Starts at 5:30 at the Warren Valley Golf Course. Everyone is welcome. This was rescheduled to 7:28 from 7:01.
Right. That's awesome.
Lucky Squirrel. We got 2 more Lucky Squirrels coming up in August, 1 in September.
Yeah, they
August
added that
14th is a makeup date for being so rained out on the 19th of June.
one.
And
Mhm.
August 21st, final one will be September 8th. It's from 10 to 3 p.m. They have 150 vendors, arts, crafts, antiques, and more. It's located at the northeast corner of Ford and Middle Belt.
Right.
Seeds and Sprouts. Rain or shine, the Maplewood Garden for ages 6 to 9. August 7th, 10 to 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. $5, $2 if you want to have added an additional child. Join us for fun and educational day of gardening.
All right. This is just to mention the August 19th Music in the Park.
Right.
And that music will be featured by Taylor Tuckey, specializing in classic and modern country.
Sounds good.
And they're from 6 to 9, free event, food trucks. Please consider bringing a non-perishable food item for the Garden City Home Pantry, right?
Right.
Right.
Are you
And
going to have a show that week?
I don't know if we're going to do that week or not. I may take the 19th off. We'll see. I'm leaning towards it. Can't believe we're talking about the holidays already, but here you go.
Garden City High School Holiday Craft and Vendor Show, December 4th. At the Garden City High School Vendor Show at gmail.com or facebook.com/Garden City's Craft Show. Looking for quality crafters. Direct sales spots are limited. You must confirm your availability.
Right. Back to
Donate school supplies. The Rotary are also doing this, but this one is sponsored by Garden City's
Right.
City Hall. Donations we accepted at the clerk's office at City Hall through August 28th. They're looking for all kinds of school supplies: pencils, folders, rulers, erasers, notebooks, crayons, color pencils, pens, scissors, markers, glue sticks, index cards, line paper, and highlighters. For more information, contact the treasurer's office at 734-793-1610.
Yeah, Garden City Rotary is doing that too now. Are they collecting at the library, do you know, for that as well, or no?
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay.
Okay, food commodities. Third Wednesday of every month, Emergency Food Assistance Program, free to Garden City residents from 9 to 12 at the Maplewood Community Center. And Focus Hope on the first Wednesday of every month. A food box program free to Wayne County seniors only from 11:30 to 1:30. Maplewood Community Center at 734-793-1857 for more information.
Yes.
An Indie Art Craft Jam on Sunday, August 15th from 2 to 7, presented by the Helium Studio and Creative Makery, local makers, live music, DIY craft tent. It'll be at 5805 Central Garden City, the northeast corner of Ford and Middle Belt.
Here's a big one Saturday. Everybody needs to get their tickets for this event. Rain or shine.
Yep. Garden City Garden Club is in presentation and partnership with the Historical Museum presents the 27th annual garden walk. I guess they've got 8 beautiful gardens.
Yeah, 8.
Saturday, July 24th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tickets are $15. You can get them at Barson's Greenhouse. They include a trip to the gardens plus a lunch at Straight Farmhouse. 3 p.m. There'll be a door prize drawing and floral awards.
Yeah. I guess they got like 50 vendors, I'm hearing, at least.
Yeah, those are going to be on the grassy area between the farmhouse and the old Optimus.
Yeah, the Oddfellows.
Oddfellows, yeah.
That's actually going to be open too, according to Kit Marquette when she was on. So you can get a chance to have lunch in there. I believe.
Drop-in pickleball every Tuesday and Thursday at the Maplewood Community Center from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. $3 for drop-in. This is open to us geezers, 50 and up.
Yeah. And final one.
Senior Fitness Room is open. Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, Saturday, 9:30 to 3:30, by appointment to allow for social distancing at the Maplewood Senior Center. Call 734-795-1850 for appointments and membership rates.
Right. Now, do you have any there or?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Okay.
Reminder that Westland is having their annual Blues, Brews, and Barbecue.
Right. 2 days, I think. August in 2 days.
That's a big event.
Yeah.
And Juanis is going to be doing a cornhole raffle at the Lucky Squirrel.
Lucky Squirrel, we did.
Save the date for chili cook-off on October 9th and for the Great Pig Race on October 23rd.
When's the pig race?
October 23rd.
Okay.
And Juanis in our bake sale.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last Lucky Squirrel, we made over $4,800.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
There
awesome.
was a few baked goods left unsold, and those wound up being donated to the fire department.
Wow. That's crazy. And you guys had a table at the Lucky Squirrel, or not Lucky Squirrel, Autos for Autism too, right?
Yeah, there was. I think Millie and Kim manned that.
Okay. What was that for? Just
I don't know. I was stuck in the counting room with Cheryl counting all these ballots on the votes for all the different classifications of autos.
yeah, there was a lot of them, let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're an hour 10 into the show. We're always looking for guests to be on the show. So if you know anyone that might be interested, it's very easy. You can contact us through our website at gccommunitychat.com. Send us your name, email address, and a brief message, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. You can also message us on Facebook and text us at 734-788-9319. Doesn't matter what community you live in, we want to hear from you. During this time, we can do the show remotely and safely from the comfort of your home or office, like we did tonight. Maybe you own a business or belong to an organization and you'd like to share that information with us and the surrounding community. If so, contact us today, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Are we going to be remote next week, Gary?
Next week, we will not be remote.
Gonna be
You
live in
and
the
I-
studio?
You and I and Sue will be in studio, and Officer Minch will be remote.
Okay.
And just one more thing before we go, I do want to take a minute and mention that our show has no boundaries, and everyone is welcome to come on and tell their story. We are Garden City Community Chat, but we will continue to always be a platform and a voice for all communities and businesses who wish to be a part of the show. So go ahead and contact us whenever you're ready, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, get vaccinated before you come, please.
Exactly. And with that said, Mike, I think we're ready to call this a podcast.
Podcast. Yeah.
Special thanks to our good buddy all the way from the United Kingdom, Mr. Dave A.C. Cooper. He did a great job. You can catch his podcast, The Caldum Collective, on TalkShoe.com. Just search for show ID 54821. He's going to be celebrating 12 years very soon.
Hmm.
Also, thanks to my co-host, Opera Tom and Mike. Great job as always. Mike, any final thoughts?
No, I just urge everyone to get vaccinated because we've got another round of
Yeah.
surge of the virus for all those clowns that
Well,
didn't think they needed to get vaccinated.
I got to tell you, there is so much misinformation out there. It's unbelievable. Now, if people would just trust the scientists and the doctors instead of getting their news off of Facebook, you'll be much further ahead. I'm sorry to say that, but you need to really wake up and get vaccinated. Whether you had the COVID or not, after 90 days, those antibodies aren't going to be there forever. So get the shot. Talk to your doctors.
Yeah.
Remember, this show will be available right after we sign off tonight, so catch it later at your convenience. If you tuned in late, especially, go to facebook.com/GCChat. Also, remember, we will be on our YouTube channel. Just go to our YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for GC Community Chat. And please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. And as always, we want to continue to thank all of the healthcare workers, first responders, police and fire, everyone on the front lines who serve and protect us every day. We can't thank you enough. Be safe, and we want you to know that you and your families are in our thoughts and prayers every day. And when you see any of these heroes, let them know how much you appreciate them, okay? I just want to check these comments, see if we got anything up here. Kathy Ward, great show tonight. Thank you. You are more than welcome. Thank you. We thank everyone for tuning in and following us. We appreciate it more than you know. Remember, the success of a community depends on the community, so please support your local businesses. And don't forget, we like to promote community unity, right, Mike?
Yes.
Community unity. So let's be united and support one another. And please consider, like Mike said, getting vaccinated. We all need to work together to keep those numbers down. It's up to each and every one of us. The numbers, they were improving. They're ticking up slightly. So let's work together to get them back down. And Mike, if you see something,
Say something.
absolutely. Look out for one another out there. For all your weather information, you're going to head on over to DopperTomsWeather.com. He's got a great user-friendly website over there. We will see you right back here next week, July 29th, when our guest will be Sue Strong from Mothers Against Drunk Driving and Garden City Police Officer Jacob Minch. And we will be back in studio. So until then, please consider getting vaccinated. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and have a great night. Mike, you take care, bud.
Yeah, hang loose.
Bye.